Tell us about that, what that entails.
So we know that technology, it moves really, really quickly.
Mhm.
And with the change in technology, Konnexx is always trying to find ways of adapting to new technologies
Mhm.
to offer services to our fellow Jamaicans. And the thing is, when it comes on to learning about the technology and testing, that's my line of expertise, where I do research and I try to develop not only products but also processes and adapt new ways of doing things to enhance the company and the services that we offer.
You're a big man at the company, man.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still developing, just like the company.
And that's what the era of technology is. You never get a chance to rest. It's always changing, always moving.
Right. So you always have to keep on top of the game.
Excellent. Talk to me though. It's a little different area in terms of Jamaican companies and general company development. We're seeing a new paradigm into how we are approaching development of products and processes and so on. Talk to me about some of that research that you put in. You know, what are some of the processes that goes into what you do to develop new products or new services?
Well, that's a good question because on the international scene, we're always seeing new things coming up. And from time to time, whether it be the internal team or even our CEO, Mr. Nevels, he will have his ideas. And then what we'll do is to take a deeper look into the technology, do our feasibility research to see how we would apply to Jamaica and to see how we can utilize that specific technology and make it a practical solution for us locally. So we'll do our tests, we'll do research to see which suppliers are good suppliers in order to partner with and to see how best we can establish a solution that is practical for everyone.
Interesting way of doing things. Again, as technology changes, how do you manage to keep abreast of all these changes and keep relevant?
Well, we have a team of persons at Konnexx, and with that team, we've established different processes internally to see how best we can always keep on top of things. We're always having meetings. Regular, we have meetings with international suppliers who are able to give us insight on what they're working on. Also gives us the opportunity to test these things as soon as they're launched. And, you know, with that system in place, that's how we keep on top of all of that.
Konnexx is a big name in Jamaica. So we see all these Konnexx vans driving around, you're fixing different things, you're doing things. I understand the company is looking at regional expansion. How involved does the technology development officer or that department, how involved do you become in that kind of expansion? Are you the go-to persons in looking at these different markets, what the needs are and so on, and see how you can look whether this is feasible or not?
So the thing is, Jamaica is a good platform to start.
Yep.
Because what we found is that when something works in Jamaica, usually it works for the rest of the Caribbean.
Okay.
So when we are doing our testing and seeing what would work for Jamaica, we also think about how the little changes in the other islands, they would be, how would say, applicable to those environments as well. But the thing is, for Jamaica, I think when we focus on Jamaica as an island, those growth and those changes that we'll be making in Jamaica, it would be useful for those islands as well.
So
yeah, so even though we're different, we're very similar in the way that we operate. So once something works in Jamaica, it usually works in the other islands that we operate in.
Jamaican consumers, very difficult people. But and so from time to time, especially with technology, you've had to build out platforms for the telecoms companies. How do you manage to keep your consumers satisfied? Are you comfortable with the level of progress you've been making?
Well, we're comfortable with the level of progress that we're making, but we're always seeking to be better, to do more. because Jamaicans, we're very picky and we want the best. We don't want to feel like other places are doing better than us. So when it comes down to pleasing or my fellow Jamaicans, I'm always trying to see how we can fix a problem before it even becomes a problem. How can I improve something that is good to make it better? These are the things I think about when I'm offering. So whenever I get feedback from clients, immediately go to the drawing board. Is this something that is unique to this person, or is it that other persons might have the same issue? If it is that they have that same concern, then we find a solution just so that everyone can be happy. Can't please everyone, but we always try to see how best we can please our customers.
Maximize customer satisfaction.
Right.
It's interesting. In Jamaica, we normally say if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But you are always looking, even before it gets broken, to fix it and make it better. Talk to me about the growth and expansion within Jamaica of the technology space. We know technology is always changing. You have built out a platform on which multinationals are operating. How much pressure is it to maintain, and not only maintain, but to constantly improve?
So it is a challenge, and as I mentioned before, by having a good team to work with, it makes the work easier. So delegating some of the tasks is also a very important way to do that. So one, you want to maintain what you have, you also want to grow. So with the maintenance, we always have to be getting feedback as well as getting new feedback from the things that we're trying out. So when it comes down to balancing the whole operation, it's also very, very important for you to have targets, look at those targets, and see how you're progressing from point A to point B. Because if you move from point A to point B and you neglect the point A, then you're basically taking a step backwards. So it's very important for you to look at it on a whole and to see what best fits each situation. So we're growing, we're also maintaining. So by having your targets, having your metrics to work with, that's a very important part of managing that.
When we look at how Konnexx has grown, has expanded, we see you launching not only into new regions, but into new products. What kind of research do you put into some of these things?
So we do a lot of research on products specifically, because we're always trying to see how best we can find new products or better products than what we already have. So if it means that we're going to develop a new product based on what we already have, then we'll go about doing that. Because when you look at the products on a chemical level, you have to bear these things in mind, because some of the products that are used on the international level, they might not be very optimized or optimized to suit the Jamaican environment. So what we do is we form the relationships in order to have those changes implemented so that they can be the best thing for our market.
Absolutely great. As you look again at the markets, you've done a lot. You've gone now into the region. Where do you see the next big thing coming from for Konnexx?
Well, the next big thing coming for Konnexx, we have so much in the pipeline that I can't give you one specific thing, but know that we're growing, we're improving, and you're going to see more of the offerings that we'll be providing, not only locally, but regionally as well.
If somebody was to ask you, Konnexx, what is the best thing about this company, what would you tell them?
The best thing about Konnexx is basically how agile the company is. We're always moving. So there's a culture at Konnexx that says, let's do it good, and let's be the best in it, and let's see how quickly we can provide the service. So with Konnexx, how fast we grow, how fast we change, and how fast we master what we do. I think that's the greatest thing about Konnexx.
Excellent point at which to end this interview. You master the things that you do You do it good, you be the best of it, and ensure your customer is satisfied at the end of the day. And that's pretty much all you can ask for. And that's why we have this show. That's why we talk to persons like yourself and bring on companies and expose companies like Konnexx to the viewers so that they can see what is happening here locally in Jamaica and how Jamaican companies are growing internationally. As we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9 where we'll have another great program lined up for you.